Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate you guys taking some time to watch the video. Definitely never take that for granted. And today we are going to talk about a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and that is the buzz going around the industry pretty much over the past year that some bass pros or some fishermen in general are using Livescope to snag bass with Livescope and certain lures illegally. And we're going to talk about that, and I think it's worthy of a topic for conversation. If I can get through the video here, man, I think here in Springfield, Missouri, everybody in my neighborhood either drives a crotch rocket motorcycle, a Harley, a jacked up pickup with loud pipes on it, or a Charger. It's so loud here, or a helicopter buzzing over once in a while, so bear with me on that. So hey, anyway, before I get started on today's video, I want to address something. Yesterday I did a video on my Mental Monday on fuel prices, and man, I upset some sensitive types with this video. I can just tell you right now, because there's obviously a lot of people out there that didn't like the fact that they were thinking I was being a meanie to the big oil companies or something. And I want to talk briefly about that real quick. Guys, here on the channel, first of all, I appreciate every single person that subscribes to this channel. I really do. I don't care what your background is or whatever. Thank you very much for subscribing. That being said, on my channel, I really want to do everything I can to educate you guys with what I know about fishing. I've been bass fishing for over 50 years. I want to pass this information down to you guys, and I do that every single day on the channel. And you know, hopefully you can learn something from that. But that being said, you are going to hear one of the things you guys know about. If you know me and you watch the channel, you know that I talk about environmental issues, and I always will. It's important to me. You're going to hear that on this channel. So if you get offended by me talking about environmental issues, there's probably other channels you would probably enjoy more. If you go to some channel that you just hear some dude talking about plastic worms and that's all. But you're going to hear about environmental issues, because I feel there's nothing more important as far as the long-term sustainability of our race as humans and the planet. And I can promise you right now, you know, when most of us are going to be gone in 50 years from this planet, and when you're laying on your deathbed, I doubt very seriously if you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I would have done more to have gas prices reduced, or I wish I could have done something to protect those big oil companies and keep oil cheap. More than likely you're going to be thinking about stuff like, man, I hope we have a planet here that is sustainable and you know, vibrant and healthy for our grandchildren after I leave this planet. So I just wanted to throw that out there, you know, for whatever that's worth. Okay guys, let's talk a little bit about this snagging bass with the Livescope deal. I've been hearing this big time, guys, a lot lately, that what these guys are doing, some of the people, I'm not pointing any names, I'm not pointing any fingers to anybody, I'm just sharing generic information that I'm hearing and observing. That guys are going out and they're finding these big schools of fish with Livescope that they may or may not be able to get bites to bite. And there's a lot of these schools, there's so many bass out there that they're throwing these big giant flutter spoons that has 3 and 4 treble hooks on it. They're throwing it out in those schools, they're ripping these big flutter spoons back, and they're snagging these bass in the belly and on the side or whatever that aren't biting the spoon. Same with maybe like a jerk bait or any type of treble hook bait that you can run through that. And ultimately, only the person that is fishing knows if that's their intention or not. I hate to think that there's people out there that try to intentionally snag a bass by doing that, but I'm sure that there are. And to me, snagging a bass, if you're trying to snag a bass using Livescope with big treble hooks on a big spoon, it's no different than trying to snag a bass off a bed with a treble hook. It's the same thing. It's not cool, it's not legal, it shouldn't be allowed. So the point of which is, what can we do about that? You know, it's an easy fix. I mean, California has a law in place where if you don't have the bass hooked in the mouth, that fish has to be released immediately in the water. To me, that's the easiest solution to this. I would put this out there. If somebody has their Livescope on and they're using Livescope, if they hook a fish that is not in the mouth, that fish has to be immediately returned to the water. Not so much for non-Livescope, because I've foul hooked a lot of bass myself unintentionally, because what happens if you're if you're throwing a crankbait or something, or a jerk bait down the bank, and sometimes you'll have a fish nip it and they'll get one hook or one barb in the mouth, and they shake their head, the hook comes out of their mouth, and you happen to catch the fish in the belly or the side as it's swimming by. We've all done that. If you fish long enough, that's going to happen. That's a different scenario. You're not looking at those fish that you're doing that to. It's something that just happens by the haphazard. But when it comes to these guys out there that are glued to their Livescope, and they've been, you know, 50 foot in front of them, they can see this big school of bass out there, and they're taking these big giant flutter spoons with 4 treble hooks, and they're looking at those bass on the Livescope, and they're ripping that thing, you know, with 4 treble hooks through it, and they get one on the belly and the side. Man, that's not cool. And that's an issue that I think that tournament directors have got to take seriously moving forward with that. So I just wanted to bring that. I just wanted to do a video and bring that to everybody's attention, simply because I've been hearing people talking about it right and left lately. Let me know what's your guys' opinion on it. Do you guys think that's something that needs to be addressed? To me, it's just another negative that comes with Livescope, and it's you know, just another reason that I don't use it or don't like it. So anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning into the channel. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. All you dudes out there that got your feelings hurt by some of my videos talking about environmental issues, it's not my intention to hurt your feelings, but that's just sort of what you get on the channel from time to time. So thanks again, guys. We'll check back later with another video. See ya.